Thank you for coming on this chilly afternoon, evening. All right. Okay. Almighty God, we call upon you today to pour down your blessing upon your servants, especially Carlos Juarez, as he assumes the duty of mayor of the city of Santa Paula. Grant him prudence in his actions and the strength of will in order to fulfill the demands of his duties to lead and govern. Aid him in his responsibilities and vision for the welfare and growth of our community, and may he do so with honor and dignity and with integrity and justice. Lord, we are thankful for the good work of our previous mayor, Pedro Chavez, and ask you to bestow your blessing upon the city council members, all city officials and civil servants, that we may all work for the well-being and prosperity of all who live and work in Santa Paula. Amen. Thank you. I'd like to ask Councilmember Ornelas to lead us in the flag salute, please.
You would join me in the flag salute, right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Father Tom, for your spiritual guidance. We are moving into, did we do a roll call yet? No, huh? Roll call.
Present. Thank you. On speaker, Councilmember Cross-White is present. Councilmember Ornelas,
Present.
Vice Mayor Juarez,
Here.
Mayor Chavez,
Here.
and Councilmember Cornejo is absent at time of roll call.
All right, Ms. Castillo is visiting us via Zoom. And is there a closed session report?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This evening, the council recessed into closed session to discuss matter item 4A on the special agenda, threat to public services or facilities pursuant to Government Code Section 54957A, consultation with Rich Williamson, Chief Technology Officer. There are no reportable actions taken. That
Thank you,
concludes
Ms.
my report.
Castillo. All right, we're moving on to presentations. Item 6, we have a special guest today visiting us as part of our tradition here. And I think I hear something in the background. Please welcome Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
And he has a message for all of
Let's
us.
see here. Here's my list here. Here's my naughty or nice list. Pedro, Carlos, Gabby, Leslie, Jenny, Danny, and Greg Barnes. You're on the nice list this year. That's good.
Greg Barnes made it onto the list.
Yes, he did. We might need to check this twice.
That one again.
Let's see here. Well, good evening, Honorable City Council and Santa Paula. What a joy it is to be here tonight. Mrs. Claus and I are absolutely delighted by the holiday spirit shining throughout the beautiful city. I must say, seeing all the sparkling lights, the decorated trees, and festive ribbons on the poles, and those cheerful street banners warm our hearts from the moment we arrive. Not to mention the wonderful events that make the community come together.
And let's not forget about the train depot Santa and how beautifully decorated it is. The beautiful lights on all the city buildings, the windows that are painted for Christmas. And, Santa hasn't stopped talking about that Come See Santa event that the community center had. The delicious pancakes that the Optimist Club made for everyone. Our reindeer were actually trying to get a bite or two.
Ho, that's right. I had such a fantastic time meeting all new faces, children's, families, everyone filled with warmth of the season. It reminded me why Santa Paula holds such a special place in my heart. Ho.
Well, but Santa, we're not done. What else are we doing?
Absolutely. Can't wait for the Santa tours coming up December 16th through the 19th, starting each evening at 5:30. I'm looking forward to waving hello, visiting neighbors, and sharing the magic of Christmas with all Santa Paula. Ho.
We want to thank the council and the Parks and Recreation Department for everything they've done for us. Everything looks magical and amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Parks and Recs Department, for getting my sleigh ready for the tours. It always looks amazing. Ho.
Would we like to take a picture?
Yes, let's do that.
Council, would you like to take a picture? Come on over. Let me hold up for you, Santa. Perfect. Come on down.
Santa Claus, you get Santa Paula renamed once a year, only during December, with the city of Santa Claus. So thank you for making the effort to be here tonight.
Of course.
For just 1 month, sir. Just 1 month. We'll go back to Paula in January.
Are we on? Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
All right, we have item 6B, City Manager's Department Report. Mr. Singer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As has been our tradition for years, each of our departments gives an overview of activities in their department, usually for a period of 4 or 5 months. In this case, actually, from June up through October for the administrative department, which includes our human resources, our information technology, our city clerk, our legislative efforts, our public relations efforts in the city manager's office. The report is before you. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it because I think there's more important business on the agenda tonight. But I just would point out it was a busy time for our office, especially because we were busy wrapping up all of our labor negotiations, our budgeting process, the updating of our legislative platform, the compensation study that we had done, coordinating those activities with all of our labor groups. All of our divisions were quite busy, and I think, as you can see in the report, quite successful, including a number of celebrations that we had throughout our employee engagement and recognition efforts. And I'd be happy to take any questions, but otherwise we'll kind of yield my time to the more important ceremonial stuff tonight.
Great. Any questions from council members? We do have the item on the reports as well. No? All right, let's move on to item number 7, public comment. City Clerk, are there any public comments? We have Sal Fuentes and Sandra.
Good evening, Mayor Chavez and distinguished council members. I want to take advantage to invite you all to an event that we're going to have here in Santa Paula. So I have a little script here, and hopefully I can get it out in 3 minutes. So please join us for a festive family-centered celebration as One Step a la Vez officially comes to town. Our Coming to Town Community Posada invites you, youth, families, neighbors, and community partners to gather for an evening of cultural tradition, connection, and holiday joy. This is a free event designed to honor the rich traditions of our community while celebrating the expansion of our One Step Alaves youth leadership and mental health services to Santa Paula. Together, we will create warm and vibrant space rooted in belonging and unity. Enjoy a festive evening filled with activities and traditions that bring our community together, including music, local entertainment, free food, warm holiday treats, arts and crafts, activities for youth and families, community partner booths and resources, free drawings, giveaways, and holiday surprises. Everything is free and open to all ages. Why are we celebrating this? The Coming to Town Community Posada marks an important milestone. One Step Alaves is now part of the Santa Paula community. For over a decade, One Step has supported youth across Santa Clara River Valley through counseling, leadership development, advocacy, and community building partners and programs. As we expand to Santa Paula, we are committed to ensure local youth and families have access to culturally responsive youth-driven support and a space where every person feels seen, valued, and connected. Our Posada is more than a celebration. It's a warm welcome into our new community. Please get involved. It is this Saturday, December 13th at 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, located at the Santa Paula Agricultural Museum, 926 Railroad Road in Santa Paula. Thank you very much. I have some flyers here. I don't know, they're both in Spanish and English, and then we're going to have somebody say it in Spanish.
Hola, buenas tardes. Estamos aquí con toda la felicidad del mundo para invitarlos a todos ustedes a nuestra gran posada navideña. Va a ser este sábado 13 de diciembre en el Museo de Agricultura. Todos están invitados. Va a haber pozole, tamales, piñatas, pan dulce, champurrado. O sea que toda la tradición de nosotros la vamos a poder explorar ese día ahí. Así es que todos están invitados. Es una fiesta para que toda la familia participe. Lo estamos haciendo con mucho cariño para todos ustedes. Los esperamos ver ahí. Muchísimas gracias y que pasen buena tarde.
All right, we are moving on to city council reports. We'll start with Councilmember Crosswhite.
All right. Let's see. I will start by letting everyone know that at the Clean Power Alliance meeting, we did learn that because of some changes from the California Public Utilities Commission and also some things that Edison's doing, the long story short is that in January, we are going to be coming back with an interim rate adjustment to the board, and so that will take effect in February. So you might see a little bit of change on the January bill because the Public Utilities Commission is increasing the amount of what it's the PCIA, but in layman's terms, it's the exit fee. And so for some communities, that exit fee was traditionally a negative number. For ours, it was a small positive number, but that has always been absorbed by the Clean Power Alliance, so we didn't really see it. But the CPUC has increased that number for everyone, and so there will be a rate adjustment in response to make up some of that difference. And so that'll take effect in February, assuming it's approved by the board in January. But it was unanimous that the board wanted to move forward with that so that it would happen as soon as possible, and as soon as possible would be February. Let's see. Councilmember Cornejo and I had, I think, at least 3 meetings with staff since our last meeting to make sure that the People's Place funding project went through the way that it was supposed to, and it is my understanding that in the end, is it finalized now? So that is now finalized, but there was it was a little uncertain at some point if that was all going to come through, but it all went through, and it all came through the way that we had approved it. So at one point, that was a little uncertain, but I'm glad to say that that all is done now. I had 4 SCAG meetings, Southern California Association of Governments, the executive committee. We had a joint policy committee between the 3 different normal subcommittees, which was actually the Economic Summit. So if any of you are either in the public or on the council are interested in that report, it can be found on the SCAG website. I can also get you a copy if you want to see that. So the economic report is now out. We also, at the regional council meeting, as the city manager told us on Friday, but I also want to let the public know, there was a slate of 1-point-some billion projects that we were approving. One of those projects was $4.1 million so that we can actually build the bike trail that we had previously gotten a grant to fund. That is not money we could have used on anything else. If it was for anything else, we wouldn't have gotten the funding. So that will enable us to not have to use any of our other general fund on actually completing that project. And so that was really exciting. I think that might be, it's certainly, I think, the largest CMAQ funding we've ever received, which is the, congestion mitigation and air quality funding. We had previously received some funding in the city to do, that's when we did the railroad crossings, had come through CMAQ funds, but this was a significant amount of money for us, so that was really exciting. I also sat on the audit committee meeting this afternoon, and they are receiving a clean audit. They also audit other things other than just the budget, and so there was an audit of all of the data sets, and so the individual that went through and did that audit looked to see if there were parts where there was old data, if there were data sets that weren't working, and so by the end of the year, all of that should be cleaned up, and they're putting policies in place to make sure that some of those things, like right now, if sometimes what would happen is someone would change positions and they had been in charge of a data set, and then now suddenly they're doing something else, and so making sure that those data sets get passed off to someone else. So I found that interesting. Let's see. I also had the mayor and I had at least one meeting on our negotiations with Athens, and so most likely in the beginning of the new year, we will be coming back to update you on where we're at with those. And then we had the mayor and I also attended the Boys and Girls Club's recognition of the Painters Union, and also I think it was Efren Painting who painted that building where the Boys and Girls Club is. If you haven't seen it, it looks fantastic. So I would encourage you to go by and take a look. They're also going to be putting up a plaque on the building to recognize those individuals who worked together to make that happen. It looks really good. And then we had a street study session. If you weren't able to attend and you're interested in what the next 5-year cycle is going to look like, I would encourage you to go back and check the video. There was a lot of good information. I'm really grateful to all the public that participated in that process, and look forward to being able to come forward back in the new year with that new 5-year pavement management cycle so that we can get that moving. So, thank you.
All right. Ms. Ornelas.
Okay. So the parade was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the reception we had at the back of E&D for everyone on commissions and boards. It was great to see everybody. Thanks again to Rick for hosting us. The parade was fun, there were so many people out. It was really nice to see everybody, all the lights, and everyone cheering us on as we were walking by. After the parade, I did stop by the watch party, which was pretty cool, where you could see the football game on the big screen. And the market seemed to be well attended, so that was really fun. My reports are always really short. I think that was a highlight since the last meeting, was really the parade and seeing everyone come out and how nice it was to see everybody. And just thank you all for either walking in the parade or participating or helping put it together. I know it takes a lot of work. I used to work it when I worked for the chamber, so thank you to everybody that helped put it together and that made it what it was again this year. And that's the end of my report.
Great, thank you, Councilmember. Vice Mayor Juarez.
Thank you, Mayor. As the other council members were stating, we had the appreciation dinner. This was the same night as the holiday parade. We have a lot of people that work for our city that are kind of unsung heroes. These are committees and commissioners on like Measure R, Measure T, Parks and Rec, Senior Advisor Committee, and it was a nice way to welcome them and thank them for their year of service. And then the mayor invited them to walk with us as we walked down the holiday parade, and we are one of the few cities that has a nighttime parade besides the Harbor of Lights. But that's always a big event, and I saw the video. We didn't get to see the Santa sleigh, but apparently the snow machine is working really well, and that was really neat to see. So, well-attended event. I think there were at least 50 entries, and again, well-attended. Regarding the meeting we had on the second part of the pavement management plan, as Councilmember Crosswhite said, it was well-attended and a lot of good information. I do want to offer my apologies to Bob Woodward and Dale Goodman, because that evening there was a screen that showed Fillmore, and I misheard Fillmore City when it was actually Fillmore Street. But nevertheless, Fillmore Street's a bad street too, so, but it's pavement-wise, yeah, pavement-wise. But it will get fixed, and it's really encouraging to see the map and the new grids that shows where your street's going to fall on the 5-year pavement management plan, and they use a fiscal cycle. So another thing that was suggested was when to be sure we notify the people that are going to be impacted by the paving of the streets, but also in case there's a delay in their paving, so they don't think that we bypassed them and went on to another street. I just want to again mention that the Oddfellows are having their trains. It's the 18th year we've done it, and we've seen families grow up there. So I hope people join us for that. And a reminder that we have people less fortunate than us, and so Rotary is collecting baskets, or has baskets around town for food, toys, and other items. So be sure you deposit into those. We'll be collecting those about the 17th. Assembly will be the 18th through the 21st. At the community center. The community center allows us to use that. But most importantly, at the end of each time that we distribute up to 500 baskets, there are sometimes baskets that are left over. Families are either out of town, or maybe they're leery of being out in the environment we're in right now. So unfortunately, that might be a possibility. And we spoke with the police department. I see Commander Starnes here and Chief Aguilar and Commander Madison told us that they are on board again to, at the end of the day, with their explorers to deliver those baskets that don't get picked up. So again, thank you to the police department for your continued support with the Rotary Christmas baskets. And that's my report, Mayor.
All right, thank you so much. No, sorry, got it right though. This is my report. I always give a quarterly report on activities that are happening in the city. It's for the record, so can you take these for anybody that wants them? And then I also put it out in social media. As you know, the council members talk a lot about the activities that we do. It takes a lot of time and commitment to participate in these meetings, to represent and show the best of who we are in Santa Paula, to make sure that we're able to advocate for resources, but advocate for the issues that the city cares about. I am going to mention 3 things in particular because, again, economic development has to be the cornerstone of everything we focus on, because if we were able to support our local businesses, bring investment, then we're able to have the money and the resources to solve the problems that we have. First and foremost, Small Business Saturday was amazing. Thank you to all the local businesses who partnered up to promote the local opportunities here. We had, again, shopping local. We have a lot of new businesses out here on Main Street. I just enjoyed jumping from one store to another, buying little trinkets. It makes a real big difference when we support our local business owners here. And again, there's a vendor market on Saturday. There's toy giveaways. There's so much generosity that happens in the city from all parts of our town. That's what makes our holiday season really magical. And then I'm going to let Ms. Ornelas finish it up with the last thing.
You actually just said it. I just wanted to remind everybody to add on to what Vice Mayor Juarez said, the Rotary baskets, but there's also Capricho is having a toy giveaway this Saturday from 12 to 4. And Santa and Me is a tradition that started together with community members at the Piedras Park neighborhood and the Santa Paula Police Department. I took it over when I worked for PD running the storefront. And it's continued, and so that will be December 20th, from 11 to 4 at E&D Boutique. Maria Jimenez with Poder Popular has registered families, but you don't have to register, so if there's a family in need, they can just come and line up. We're excited. We're going to have the photo booth. Santa will be there. The Grinch will be there. Maybe some live music and maybe some like mini horses or some sort of animal for the kids. Capricho will be there supporting with hot chocolate, and we'll have conchas. And this event is really meaningful to me because I took over in the neighborhood I grew up in. So everything we do, from Rotary to the Chamber to everybody who puts in so much work to bring some kind of joy to our kids here in town. We have so many families that are in need, and it's my favorite thing to see Gibby and all the cars and bikes that show up that day and have the toys and all of the volunteers that come together to help make it what it is. So even if you just come by and are shopping downtown on the 20th or the 13th or any day that you're out, I hope you get to see the kids' faces light up and all the families that get to participate and benefit from the events. I just wanted to add that, and happy holidays to everybody.
Great.
Thank you.
Council Member. We are moving on to City Manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things to add, because last week was certainly one of the highlights of my 6 years here when we had the pavement management workshop. It was a demonstration of what the power of people being willing to fund this community through the passage of Measure R and before that Measure T, what that will do to our community. For those of you that haven't gotten to see the plans, it will come back to council for official approval around February. But the amount of road work and infrastructure we're going to get to be able to realize in the next 3 years is just really tremendous. So I know people have said, where's that Measure R money going? Well, we're compiling it, and it'll start being spent once the winter's over and spring rolls around. And then that same week, as Councilwoman Crosswhite pointed out, to receive almost $4.2 million in federal and state money, coupled with $1 million that our own Transportation Commission's giving us, is going to allow us to move right into the extension of our bike and pedestrian trails, just another example of improving this community. So it was just a real pleasure to be part of those efforts. And of course, the parade. It's also always a highlight. And thanks for the idea to throw the reception before that too. So that ends my report.
Questions for Mr. Singer? I do have two questions. The first is, how are we doing on the employee survey? What's the percentage of employees engaged?
So the survey will go out next week.
Okay.
We'll have a mayor, email probably this week letting everyone know. So it'll go out next week, and the hope would be to collect all of the results, before the holiday break. So I won't know that until January.
And then I do want to mention that you missed something so important that everybody is witnessing right now is Main Street. Finally, Main Street on the two ends
Yeah.
is being done. I saw them basically put the lines today for the crosswalks. So now our two major corridors are done, and that's a big accomplishment for us to be able to ensure that those two corridors don't have all this potholes and decaying infrastructure. So thank you.
Yep.
And please thank the Parks and Recs Department for their work on that.
Public Works.
Public Works, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, consent calendar. Any items to pull?
Mr. Mayor, I did want to point out, we have put out for your consideration an alternative to the employee-based hiring incentives. Councilwoman Cornejo reminded us yesterday that the incentive that we did with the police officers was to divvy it up over 3 years, whereas what's in your packet was a recommendation for a hiring incentive to be over 2 years. So what's before you is an opportunity to look at a 3-year phase-in of that, basically like a signing bonus, if it's applied. And the advantage of this approach is it then kind of acts as a retention opportunity, once somebody's here and accepted a job, they'll get that bonus assuming they stay. So we would ask that you consider that alternative to the one that's in your packet when you approve the consent calendar tonight.
Okay, so noted for the record. Nothing to pull? Questions on an item?
If there's no questions, I would move approval of the consent calendar with the updated hiring incentive agreement that is here.
There's a motion by Ms. Crosswhite. Is there a second?
I would second the motion, items 10A through 10J.
Awesome. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Wow, we just took care of a lot of business right now, didn't we? All right, exciting time. Look at this. Item 11, 11A, procedures for election of mayor and vice mayor. All right, so I'm going to ask the city clerk to review the mayor and vice mayor appointment.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I have, to be able to have a lot of information out to our public, I know the council is familiar with most of the procedures, especially since we've recently redone the procedural guidelines in reference to that. I was just going to go ahead and read my entire staff report so that the public can hear a lot of what is said on this before I start in on any of the regular procedures to move forward. So, as a background, in the city of Santa Paula, the mayor and vice mayor are elected by the council from among its members annually, as it is at its first regular meeting in December of each year. The mayor and vice mayor serve at the pleasure of the council for a term of approximately 1 year or until the next mayor or vice mayor have been selected. At its November 5th, 2025 meeting, the council adopted a new resolution approving the manual procedural guidelines for the conduct of the city council. And it includes section 9.3, which is related to the election of the mayor and the vice mayor. Within the staff report, I did attach that part, but let me go ahead and read a few of the parts of that. So under 9.3, appointment of mayor and vice mayor, we have A, each member elected to the council is equally qualified and deserving to hold the office of mayor and vice mayor, and each council member should be given ample opportunity to serve in one or both of these offices. B, it is the express intention of the council that as many members as possible serve as mayor and vice mayor as long as they are in good standing. C, the member appointed as mayor must have been a member of the council for approximately 2 years. In the absence of a member with sufficient tenure on the council and absent disqualifying circumstances, priority should be given first to the member with the longest continuous service since last serving as mayor or vice mayor, and thereafter to any member who has not previously served as mayor or vice mayor. A mayor should serve as mayor only once during his or her term. And as an analysis, I've added a little bit more information, and then a lot of this will be repeated in some of my regular procedures when we move forward, is the process for electing the mayor and vice mayor will be facilitated by the city clerk. Once the city clerk declares the office of mayor vacant and nominations open, any member of the city council may nominate a member of the city council as mayor, including him or herself. No second to a nomination is required. Any member of the city council may move to close the nominations at any time after all council members have had the opportunity to make a nomination. The motion requires a second and must receive a vote of a majority of the city council to pass. After nominations, after the nominations are closed, the council can debate on the nominations. The clerk will then call for the vote on the election of the mayor in the order the nominations were made. The first council member receiving the vote of majority of the city council will serve as mayor, and also for vice mayor in the same order. If no member of the city council receives a majority vote, the city clerk will reopen the nominations and conduct a new election until a mayor is elected. The election of the vice mayor will be conducted in the same manner as the election of the mayor. The appointed mayor and vice mayor will serve in these roles beginning December 10th, this evening, 2025, for 1 year, with the period ending after the new election in December of 2026. And that is my staff report in reference to that. Anytime that you're ready, Mayor, for me to move forward. On 11A, I can begin some of the other procedures that I have written here before we go into 11B. Would you like me to do that first?
Yes, let's roll.
Okay, so a lot of this is repeated of what was in the staff report, but since I have a full script here, I'd like to repeat that again because these are the parts that we'll be following this evening. The process for electing the mayor and vice mayor will be facilitated by the city clerk. Once the city clerk declares the office of mayor vacant and nominations open, any member of the city council may nominate a member of the city council as mayor, including him or herself. No second to nomination is required. Any member of the city council may move to close the nominations at any time after all council members have had the opportunity to make a nomination. After nominations have been closed, the council can debate the nominations. The clerk will then call for the vote on the election of the mayor in the order the nominations were made. First, the council member receiving the vote of a majority of the city council will serve as mayor. If no member of the city council receives a majority vote, the city clerk will reopen the nominations. The election of mayor and vice mayor will happen the same way. The appointment of mayor and vice mayor will serve as 1 year, as I stated, from today's date until 1 year, December of 2026. And Mayor Chavez, having provided this process, when you are ready, you may move to item 11B to begin the selection process for mayor.
All right, let's go.
You're ready? Okay. So here we go with our election. Okay. Mayor Chavez and members of the council, the office of mayor is now vacant and nominations are now open. May I have the nomination for mayor?
I would nominate Vice Mayor Juarez.
And are there any other nominations? Seeing no other nominations, can I have a motion to close the nominations? I just need a motion, and then we'll need to second that.
Oh, I can move that we close the nominations.
And someone second?
I'll second.
Okay, now that we have nominations in and we have a motion to close, I'll go ahead and take a roll call on that close. Mayor Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Juarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Crosswhite? Councilmember Crosswhite?
Yes.
Councilmember Ornelas?
Yes.
We have an A yes on that. So is there any debate on the nominations received?
Nope.
Okay. If we have no debate, I will go ahead and take a roll call vote for Carlos Juarez. So we have Mayor Chavez.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Juarez.
Yes. Yes.
Councilmember Crosswhite.
Yes.
Councilmember Ornelas.
Yes.
And we have an A yes across. So by a unanimous vote, the City Council of the City of Santa Paula appoints Carlos Juarez as mayor.
All right.
Well, thank you. I'm very honored. Thank you for the unanimous vote. I'm almost anticipating somebody making a motion to adjourn, but having not seen that, it is my honor at this point to do what every incoming mayor does, and that is to recognize the outgoing mayor. Our outgoing mayor is Pedro A. Chavez, and I do want to say that it has been a pleasure to work with you as you've got elected on the city council as a council member, working your way through vice mayor and to mayor. You definitely, in your social media, you talk about your passion for leadership. You definitely show that. It shows in the community. The amount of people that come out and support you is just phenomenal. So you've been a great asset to our city, and I'm very honored to present you with a ceremonial mayor's plaque.
Can we do that over? I was busy typing. Everyone else get one?
And actually, if we could do something real quick, this is something the mayor does. Let's bring the rest of the council up here real quick. Just real quick with the gavel. Gabby and, yeah, and unfortunately, we're missing Councilmember Cornejo, so. Yeah.
What do we do, just
We're
stand?
just taking a picture. Let's go.
All right.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Well, thank you again. I let off the comments, but now what I would like to do is ask for comments from other council members, and we'll start with Councilman Martin Ellis.
All right. It has been a pleasure being on this council, but getting to nominate you for mayor on my first day as a council member. That was my first action I took, I think, as a councilwoman. I got to know you before you became a council member, and it's been wonderful working with you. I knew you before you even talked about being a council member, or now mayor, or former mayor. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for all of your work, from your day job to everything else. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to continue to serve with you here on council. Thank you for listening to all of my passionate talks about everything that I want to do with our youth here in Santa Paula and everything else. It's been great, and I look forward to continuing now as you're back to a council member. I know you'll continue to do the great work that you do. So thank you for a great year.
Thank you, Councilmember Ellis. And as we mentioned earlier, Councilmember Cornejo was hopefully trying to be here about this time. There was a family emergency, so hopefully we'll see her before the end of the meeting. Next, Councilmember Crosswhite.
Yeah, I would just want to thank you. You definitely led with passion and creativity. And so I thank you for your leadership. You know, as you now know, being mayor takes even more time than sitting in any of the rest of these seats. And so I thank you for making the effort to really put in that time and be available to members of the public who had concerns. And so I want to thank you for serving as mayor and everything that you've done this year, and you get to keep serving with us. So it's not like you're going anywhere. But yeah, so looking forward to another good year.
Thank you. If it's okay, Councilmember Chavez, we would like to first invite if there's any other governmental agency representative that would like to come up and do some public comment.
We have
Okay, fantastic.
Good evening. My name is Armando Gonzalez, and on behalf of Congresswoman Julia Brownlee, I would like to recognize Mayor Pedro Chavez for his outstanding leadership, immeasurable contributions, and remarkable commitment to public service. She is especially inspired by Mayor Chavez's dedication to and advocacy for the people of this great city. Congresswoman Brownlee has often said it is her greatest privilege to represent the people of California's 26th congressional district, which is fortunate to include this beautiful and vibrant community. In strong partnership with Mayor Chavez and the City Council, Congresswoman Brownlee has worked to move our community forward and do all she can to improve the lives and livelihoods of everyone who calls Santa Paula home. The Congresswoman remains committed to working with local, state, and federal officials to ensure that our community has the support they need when they need it. And in honor of his outstanding service to the city and its residents, I am pleased to present Mayor Chavez with a certificate of congressional recognition on behalf of Congresswoman Brownlee. Last but certainly not least, Congresswoman Brownlee welcomes the incoming mayor and looks forward to working with the entire City Council to continue serving the wonderful people of Santa Paula and the region. Thank you.
Did you want to go down there, take a picture? Let's take a picture with you. Thank you very much. Good evening, Atticus.
Good evening. Good evening. Is this on? Oh, of course it is. Good evening, Mayor Juarez. I know I keep looking at Mayor Chavez, but Mayor Juarez on the name tag. First and foremost, my name is Atticus Reyes here on behalf of Assemblymember Steve Bennett. I'm actually doing double duty tonight, so I'll start first with, and it's a mouthful, but Senate Pro Tem President Monique Limon, who represents this region in Sacramento, who is now the most powerful person in the state Senate. Her staff couldn't be here tonight, but they asked me to attend on their behalf to present you first with a certificate of recognition on behalf of the Pro Tem. We love being able to say that of our colleague, the Pro Tem, Senator Monique Limon. So you'll get that as well, thanking you for your leadership. And I will read from their certificate as well, Mayor Chavez. Presented to Pedro Chavez, in appreciation of your untiring commitment to public service. Your admirable contributions as mayor of the city of Santa Paula has had wide-reaching impacts that will benefit the residents of Santa Paula in the 21st Senate District for years to come. I join the greater City Council in recognizing your dedicated work after the city of Santa Paula. Congratulations, Mayor Chavez. Now I got that one out of the way. So I'm here on behalf of Assemblymember Steve Bennett, Mayor Chavez, and the Assemblymember often talks a lot about good government and what good government should be and what government should be for the people it serves. And one of the most powerful concepts of a government is the fact that those who are governed can see themselves in those that govern them. In your historic mayorship, Mayor Chavez, many people in Santa Paula see themselves in you, many of which may not have seen themselves in people before on this dais. And it's for that that we are truly grateful and honored for your leadership this last year as mayor, and to which I will now read, on behalf of Assemblymember Steve Bennett, their certificate of recognition. Presented to Pedro Chavez, in deep appreciation for and recognition of your commitment to public service and advocacy for your community. Thank you for your leadership throughout the challenges of this past year and continued efforts to work tirelessly to improve the lives of your constituents. Congratulations as you complete your term as the Mayor of Santa Paula for the year of 2025. Congratulations, my friend. Best of luck, Mayor.
Okay, now we're still on item 11C, and we're going to move on to public comment. I'll call out the names, Amalia Ochoa, and then she'll be followed by Chris Gabriel.
They're just have another disconnection. It's reconnecting now. I'm sorry for the.
Ok, espérese tantito, tiene un problema con él. Pero se puede quedar ahí.
Start it again, I'm sorry. If I see it go on my screen, I just want you to be aware of it. Thank you.
We're ready to go? Ok, gracias.
Buenas tardes a todos ustedes, miembros del Consejo. Mi nombre es Amalia Ochoa. Hoy estoy aquí para agradecer en nombre de todos los líderes de causa de Santa Paula a nuestro alcalde Pedro Chávez por su compromiso, dedicación y trabajo en favor de toda la comunidad. En muy poco tiempo ha logrado resultados notables como atender las necesidades de todos los miembros más vulnerables de nuestra comunidad, incluidos los inmigrantes, la comunidad agrícola y los jóvenes estudiantes, y defender nuestro hospital de Santa Paula. Usted lideró la lucha por la medida R. Le seguimos porque se tomó el tiempo de escuchar a la comunidad. Sabía que mejorar las calles era una de nuestras mayores preocupaciones, pero esto es lo que le diferencia de un político normal. Usted sabía lo importante que era la transparencia y lo importante que era para la comunidad ser parte integral de la decisión sobre cómo se gastaba ese dinero, y por eso luchó tan duro para crear el Comité de Supervisión y Aplicación de la Medida R, en el que los residentes locales pudieran tener acceso a un poder real e influir en qué calles se priorizaban y cómo se gastaban de manera más eficiente nuestros impuestos. Hoy me siento muy orgullosa de haber estado a su lado en muchas luchas por el bien de nuestra comunidad, señor alcalde. Deja una huella verdaderamente indeleble. Solo puedo expresar mi gratitud, tanto a usted como a todos los miembros del Consejo, que trabajaron con usted, junto a usted. Hoy también felicito al nuevo alcalde, Carlos Juárez. Ojalá trabajemos juntos por el bien de Santa Paula. Porque como líderes comunitarios todos tenemos una gran responsabilidad. Por último, quiero decirle a usted, señor alcalde, señor alcalde Chávez, su brillantez radica en que sabe cómo hacer que las personas se sientan parte importante de un proceso significativo, y su don más subestimado es su humildad. Se da cuenta que las personas son el recurso más importante de esta ciudad, no las empresas, ni el dinero, ni la prensa, ni la notoriedad para usted mismo, sino las personas, aunque no tengan alas. Señor Pedro Chávez, usted es un ángel, es nuestro ángel. Que Dios los bendiga a todos ustedes, a toda la comunidad de Santa Paula. Que Dios bendiga a Estados Unidos y que Dios bendiga a Santa Paula. Sí se puede. Y sí se pudo, señor César, señor Pedro Chávez. Perdón, me acordé de César Chávez. Perdón. Por último, le quiero decir a usted que estuvimos en grandes luchas para el hospital, para los inmigrantes, para nuestras enfermeras y doctores. No ganamos, pero sí vamos a ganar, señor Pedro, porque yo no me rindo. Y usted hizo una promesa, ¿se acuerda? Juntos, y vamos a ser unos líderes y seremos siendo líderes. Gracias.
And I will translate Amalia's words. Good afternoon to all of you, members of the council. My name is Amalia Ochoa. Today I am here to thank, on behalf of the leaders of Cause of Santa Paula, our mayor, Pedro Chavez, for his commitment, his dedication, and his work for the entire community of Santa Paula. In such a short time, he has achieved remarkable results, such as addressing the needs of the most vulnerable members of our community, including immigrants, the farming community, and young students, and defending our Santa Paula Hospital. You led the fight for Measure R. We followed you because you took the time to listen to the community and knew improving the streets was one of our greatest concerns. But here's what sets you apart from a normal politician. You knew how important it was for transparency, and you knew how important it was for the community to be an integral part of deciding how that money was spent. And that's why you fought so hard to create the Measure R Oversight and Implementation Committee, where local residents could have access to real power and real influence on which streets are prioritized and how most efficiently to spend our tax dollars. Today, I am very proud to have stood alongside you in many struggles for the good of our community, Mr. Mayor. You leave a truly indelible mark. I can only express my gratitude to both you and all the members of the City Council who worked with you. Today, I also congratulate the new mayor, Carlos Juarez. May we work together for the good of our Santa Paula, because as community leaders, we all have a great responsibility. Lastly, I want to say this, Mayor Chavez. Your brilliance is that you understand how to make people feel that they are a meaningful part of a very important process. And your most understated gift is your humility. You realize that the people are the most important resource of this city. Not corporations, not the money, not the press, not notoriety for yourself, but the people. Even though you don't have wings, Mr. Pedro Chavez, you are our angel. God bless you all, God bless America, and God bless Santa Paula. Adelante. I guess it's my turn, right? Good. You call Chris Gabriel, right?
Chris Gabriel.
All right. So
There you go. So you're also going to talk.
Translating.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys make it a little bit difficult for us organizers. See, our relationship should really be one of acrimony, one underwritten by agitation, little piss and vinegar. I'm a community organizer. I'm supposed to eat lightning and crap thunder. We're supposed to have these hallowed halls of City Hall as a ring of pugilism. But you guys are special. You're different. You figured out a way to do good government, and you're arcing towards great government. You guys actually care about the people, and you set up processes and protocols that allow for public participation in meaningful ways. I mean, shoot, you're going to put us out of a job here soon. And that's okay, because that's, at the end of the day, what all community organizers want, is a better place for all people. The working people, the people that are normally left behind, you don't seem to leave behind. Mayor Chavez, you remind me of a Winston Churchill quote. He said, "The pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." You never approached a difficult moment with anything less but optimism, with hope. And the greatest thing is you brought the people along. You helped us see it as well. You created space and opportunity for people to participate in meaningful ways where they could actually get things done in a very positive way. You've left a mark. You've left a mark that people will remember for a long time, leadership skills and relationships that we will take with us, and they're better off for it. Mayor Juarez, I am so glad that you are off on the right track. You are on the good foot. And why I say that, my favorite restaurant, in fact, I believe it's the greatest restaurant in the Tri-Counties, Tacos El Torazo, right here in Santa Paula. I go there to buy dinner for my family tonight to take home, and they're like, hey, Chris, check this out. We're catering Mayor Juarez's after party. Check out this ceviche with mango and pomegranate. Oh, mamma mia. They do Mexican food so good, they make you want to speak Italian. That's how good it is. But at the end of the day, Mayor Chavez, this day is about you. You are unique. You are special. You're an absolutely wonderful human being that probably doesn't like all the compliments that we're going to foist upon you today. But please do know that you've changed a lot of people's lives. You've made us better folks, and you've made us believe that Santa Paula can not only just be great, it could be probably one of the greatest cities around. So the legacy that you guys have in front of you is big, but I am very confident you will grab it with both hands, and together, we're going to achieve some amazing things. God bless y'all. You're amazing.
Thank you, Chris. Next, we have Gloria Martinez, followed by Zandra Tadeo.
Thank you very much. Is this on? I'm an Atticus. My name is Gloria Martinez. I am the chair of the Santa Paula Chamber of Commerce. I'm here today with our incoming vice chair, Tracy Hanna, and our our newest member of the executive committee, Rondi Guthrie. First of all, I just want to say, I'm so moved by the folks that have come up before us to give you accolades and to talk about your legacy. I'm sitting in the back just with chills, and everything that they've said, I don't know how to add to that, but I'm going to try very humbly. I am not as great a speaker as the two folks that came before me, so we're going to do our best here. First of all, I just want to say I am so tremendously grateful for this last year. I really enjoyed working with you. It has been a year for both of us. As you end your term as mayor, I'm ending my term as chair, but I think that we have been working together in the trenches for this last year, and I just can't think of a better partner. You putting economic development, economic vitality at the forefront of your year and of your issues has been so special to us. And I know it's so easy to say, well, economic vitality, when you talk about that in comparison to some of the fights and other issues that we heard about here today, what is that? What is economic vitality? I spent my entire career, 20 years in nonprofit. I fought for issues around housing, poverty, homelessness, education, issues with what do you call it? Not immigration and refugee resettlement. All of these things that are so deep problems and such meaningful. Okay, I'm messing up a little bit. Let me take a breath. Issues that have a lot of not easy things to solve. But when I came into working in the chamber world, I realized that working with businesses and having a healthy economy is really the underpinning of trying to address all of these other issues that I had spent my entire career doing. And so that's why I'm passionate about small businesses. It's not corporations, it's not money. It is the way for people to be able to provide for their families, to provide jobs that give dignity, that you can have work with dignity, that other people can provide and provide opportunities for the generations that come after them. I think about people who come and work really hard so that their children can have a better life and can do better than them. And that generational wealth can only be developed through focusing on these issues, and that's what I'm really grateful for. So I am sorry I didn't say that as eloquently. So the things that you really advocated, from streets to education to small business, public safety, and the leadership development has been really special to us, and we're grateful to you for that. You're an inspiration. Is my time up? Oh, you've been an inspiration. And I just want to thank you, one last thing, just real quick, also for challenging us. I love that you would call me and say, hey, why are we doing this differently? And I want to thank you for that too, because that is true leadership. I want to close by saying a thing that came to mind as I was hearing everyone talk is Matthew 7:20, you will know them by their fruits. It's a scripture that talks about, when a person is real, not by the words they say or by what they do, but by the fruits that they bear. And you've obviously borne a lot of fruits in this last year that you've been here. So I want to say thank you. We also brought a certificate from the Chamber in appreciation for you. And we also want to say we're looking forward to working with you, Mayor Juarez, and continue this work that we started
Thank you.
with Mayor Chavez. Thank you.
Take it.
Mayor, as the timer is not working on here, just so you know, I'm using a 3-minute timer from my phone. That is why you're hearing something so loud and type thing, so I apologize for that.
No worries, thank you. I did offer if Rondi or Tracy wanted to speak, and they declined, so. Next, we have Zandra Tadeo, followed by Vibe Weisbecker.
Good evening, members of the City Council. Today, I wanted to take a brief moment just to congratulate Mayor Chavez for a fantastic term. Thank you for leading with passion, with vision, and with lots of courage. Thank you for being the voice of underserved communities. Thank you for your humbleness, and thank you for your leadership. Because of you, our city is a better place. Gracias, y que la lucha siga. And congratulations, Mayor Juarez.
Thank you, Zandra.
Good evening, outgoing Mayor Chavez, incoming Mayor Juarez, council members, City Manager Dan, City Clerk Julie, and Legal Counsel Monica. Thank you for all that you do. Especially want to thank Mayor Chavez. To say that this was a difficult year for me would be an understatement. And not just for me, for many of us in this town. And not just through personal loss, but also the greater microcosm and the macrocosm of what is happening in our country through immigration. Watching you at the helm of this council brought a lot of hope, not just to me, but to a lot of people. So thank you for that. My late husband, Thomas, and I had the privilege of observing you from your inauguration onwards this past year. And I can tell you that what I remember, and this is something we all often talked about, was how tireless you are, how encouraging you are, and how inspiring that is to be around. So bravo. And before I go, I want to remind you of something. Just by being the first openly gay mayor here in Santa Paula, you made history. I hope you'll remember that. And I hope that that message is not such a subtle message to all of us here, that it paves the way for many more like you in this space. Thank you.
Okay, I would, in a moment, like the outgoing mayor to give final comments, but before, I've been asked by the city manager to make some comments as well. Mr. Singer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I think I probably speak for all of the staff when I just thank you for a successful year, and most of all, point out just some of the value that you brought to this organization, and then especially as mayor. You know, you talked about kind of transformational leadership. When you got elected, you really kind of pushed the envelope of what might have been status quo, and you helped us to stretch. And I think it's been a really great ride, especially this last year. The improvements that we've made in reaching members of this community that weren't engaged, weren't involved, weren't participating, as you've heard tonight. The opportunity to not only increase our presence in the community through social media and engagement, and now our newsletter. It even won us a Helen Putnam Award. And it's because you were always pushing. And we need that. We needed that opportunity to think differently and to stretch, and I just wanted to compliment you on that. Every council person brings different values to the organization. You work individually as a team, and it's been evident that, you know, some of your goals as an elected official were to really help us take that next step. And so congratulations on achieving that and doing it in a way that I think has benefited this community, as you've heard tonight. So, and glad you're still sticking around. You're not leaving us yet, but we'll look forward to continuing to do good work together.
Thank you, Mr. Singer. Outgoing Mayor Chavez, you have the floor.
Thank you. It's difficult to sit here and listen to all these things. It's not something I'm accustomed to, because I always believe that it's just the work, it's just being involved, doing the work, that it just should be normal. It should be normal across the board. And so I don't see it as anything that's out of the ordinary, because that's just the way that I grew up. As an immigrant coming to this country, my mom brought myself and my brother to the United States. I grew up being a minority, and it was quite difficult to face discrimination and bigotry, not just because of the color of my skin, later on, my sexual orientation. And you think about your life when you're at a moment of reflection, and this is one moment of reflection in my life, that all those things that you go through and the struggles you go through prepare you to be able to be in a position like this, to serve. Because in an age of technology where, you know, I grew up in an old school where I grew up part of the greatest generation, which is the baby boomers, and technology was just a small little part of our lives. The first Apple computer came into the classroom when I was in first grade. But this didn't dominate things. And it takes a lot of courage and resiliency to put yourself out there to serve the community in a world where people are just criticizing, where things are polarizing. But I realize that all the struggle that you have growing up prepares you to be able to serve. And it's been the honor of my life to serve in this capacity. I do want to apologize to my husband and my mom, because being of service and the person that I am, I'm always there. I'm always present. I'm engaged. I take the time, and that takes time away from my family. My mom is getting older, and all of us get to a point where we have to take time for ourselves, take time for our families, instead of always running around. So I appreciate the work that has gone into being mayor, all the people that I met along the way in this journey, my colleagues on the council, so many people, so many names, some positive, some negative, but they care. They care about this city. And I fell in love with Santa Paula in 2005 when I first started working here. And I said, one day I'm going to live here. And I did. And somehow one day I became mayor too, because I put myself in the arena. And I think if there's anything that anyone takes away from my fruits of labor and my commitment to community, and I hope I inspire a new generation of young people, is to find purpose in serving others. When you find purpose in serving others, things tend to go your way. And I know in a community that has so many disadvantages, socioeconomics, poverty, hardship, the fact that the majority of our people have to travel somewhere else for a job, the fact that housing is impacting, the high cost of housing is impacting our local community. And across the spectrum, our younger generations won't be able to afford a home. Our older generation that has on a fixed income has a hard time struggling for the necessities of basic life. That's not who we are. We can do better. And I hope that you take away the fact that we always have to look at what's in the best interest of the people and the quality of life that we're creating. And always remember that, because Santa Paula is a very special place. It's magical. And for those who have lived here all their lives, you might not see all of it because you've been in the trenches, you've been living day to day. When people come and they want to move here and they look at everything that we have going on for ourselves here, it is truly the magic that this community has. The unity, the connection, the support, embracing culture. That's what the American dream is how we work together for the greater good. And so I'm so grateful that I've had the support of my mom and my aunt, Francisco, my husband, friends I met along the way that have been a support system to me, because it is tough for each and every one of us who sits in this role to do the work. Not only we have to represent, but we also have to engage in community. And so it's been an honor. I've always appreciated the kindness that I receive from the majority of people, the conversations. I remember having conversations with basically each and every one of you in this room about what the city would like and what it wants to transform itself in. So I appreciate all of you for being part of this journey. I have another year on council to serve. We're making so much damn progress. We are making so much progress, and let's celebrate that progress. Our Harvard Boulevard, our Main Street, our Measure R, and all the great work that's going to come, the housing, the opportunity of people being able to access the American dream through home ownership. All the businesses, the synergy that's happening in the business community, our new restaurants. We're changing, and we're becoming even better than we are, and we're not going to lose our magic for that. It's only going to make us stronger. So thank you again for the opportunity, and thank you to my family and friends for all the support, and thank you for the residents of Santa Paula for believing, continuing to believe, and staying engaged and having a voice to make sure that Santa Paula will one day thrive and we'll all feel like things are in a better place, because I know there's so much hardship right now. So with that said, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate all your patience tonight, and thank you to the people of Santa Paula.
You're very welcome. So you're very welcome, outgoing Mayor Chavez. I had a note here that Leslie Cornejo, our councilman, was going to arrive at 8:05, but she's early. To that end, I was going to ask for a short recess to allow her to arrive, but now that she's arrived, we're going to go a little bit out of sequence, and would you like to offer some comments about outgoing Mayor Chavez?
Yes, I would have been better prepared, so I apologize. And I didn't mean to upstage his comments by walking in as he was speaking either. That was very inappropriate. So it's been a pleasure working with you. You have your own style, and some of us take, some people take a little time to get used to it, but you are absolutely dedicated to the city and to making it better. And you've brought a lot of new things to us that might not have come had it not been for you being our mayor. I'm most appreciative for all of your service and all the work that you put into being, to taking care and shepherding us through this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And once again, thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to item 11D, the selection process for the vice mayor. Madam Clerk, will you please conduct the selection process for the vice mayor?
Thank you, Mayor Juarez. Let's see. Now that we're going to go ahead and begin for the vice mayor, the office of the vice mayor is now vacant and nominations are now open. Do I have any nominations for vice mayor?
I nominate Jenny Crosswhite for the office of vice mayor.
And are there any further nominations? Seeing no further nominations, I will go ahead and request a motion to close the nominations.
I move to close nominations for the office of vice mayor.
And a second by anyone?
Second.
And I will go ahead and take a roll call vote on closing the nominations. If we can have Mayor Chavez.
Yes.
Mayor Chavez. Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor Juarez. I'm going, wait. It's going to happen again many times. Mayor Juarez.
Yes.
Can we have your vote? Yes. And now Councilmember Chavez.
Yes.
And Councilmember Crosswhite.
Yes.
Councilmember Cornejo.
Yes.
And Councilmember Ornelas.
Yes.
Okay, we have an A yes on that. And are there any debates on the nomination? Seeing no debates, I will go ahead and take a roll call for Councilmember Crosswhite as vice mayor. So we will do that again. This one will start properly this time. Mayor Juarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Chavez? Councilmember Crosswhite?
Yes.
Councilmember Cornejo?
Yes.
Councilmember Ornelas?
Yes.
By a unanimous vote, the City Council of the City of Santa Paula appoints Jenny Crosswhite as vice mayor.
Would you like to come over to vice mayor's seat? I gotta take my cookies, huh? What I would like to do now, thank you, if you would indulge me, is first of all, let you know that as soon as I finish some comments, we will call for a, let me see, where's that roster? We will have a short recess for refreshments, and during that time, they'll change the nameplates, and then we will come back into session for two action items, the committees and committees designation, as well as a calendar. It should take about 20 to 30 minutes. You're welcome to stay. In fact, we may lock the door so you can't leave. Otherwise, we're going to lose everybody. But I would like to take this moment to read something, so if you would please indulge me. There's a part in here, I'm going to pretend I have to get mad, or I'll get as emotional as outgoing Mayor Chavez was. So, all right. First of all, I want to thank my colleagues for their support in electing me for this term as mayor, and also for their confidence in their vote for Vice Mayor Jenny Crosswhite. As you know, she has served in the mayor capacity twice. Many people here tonight know me in the community, but some do not. People that know me know that I enjoy history, so if you'll indulge me, I would like to share just a brief personal history. There are many people in life who I owe a heartfelt thank you to, and you'll hear about a few of them, or three of them in a few minutes. In 1962, my mother brought me and my sister to Santa Paula. I did not have a father figure in my life until about the age of 12 when my mom met my stepfather. This is where I got to get angry. I rarely introduce him as my stepfather. He is the only father I have ever known. Tonight we are joined by my father, Carlos Alonso, whom I want to thank for raising me and remaining forever in my life. We all had first jobs. Mine was delivering newspapers for the Santa Paula Chronicle, the precursor of the mighty Santa Paula Times, which, as Peggy quotes, is the only newspaper that really gives a damn about Santa Paula. End quote. I delivered newspapers to Taco Bell, the Oil Museum, the Santa Paula Police Department, and City Hall. I never imagined at that time that one day I would work in public service for over 34 years, 27 of them as a police officer working for Chief Walter Dare. 7 of them as a council member and mayor twice. Hopefully this story will inspire young people to realize that most anything is possible if you try, from paperboy to city mayor. A second person in the audience, I thought he was going to be here, is a close friend of mine, former Mayor John Proctor. I always looked up to him as a council member and as mayor, as a friend, and also a fellow bass player. He urged me 3 times to run for city council, and I finally ran for council in 2018. And I tell John Proctor that this has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. Lastly, I think I got to get angry again. Lastly, I want to acknowledge my best friend, my constant companion, my beautiful wife of 40 years, Heidi Juarez. You know, while I was a police officer, I left home to go to work. She and our children, not knowing whether or not I would return safely home after each shift. She supported me as a police officer, and she supported me running for city council. Again, not knowing what kind of mood I'd be in every night returning from a lengthy council meeting. Heidi, thank you for your love, your support, and for being First Lady again. Assuming the position of mayor again, I'm reminded of the importance of the office and its duties. I also realize that the person occupying this chair may have a little more authority and presence representing the city, but he or she remains one of 5 votes, a majority of which is necessary for passage of items on our agendas. I've looked over many agenda decisions and have seen many unanimous votes, 5-0 votes. There are also some 4-1 votes as well as 3-2 votes, most of which are approvals, but some reflect defeat of an item. And that's okay. That means that you have a council that reads their agenda, makes decisions, and that he or she feels is best for the city and for the residents. The decisions a council makes have long-term impacts for years to come. If a decision or situation or condition is good, the council and mayor get praised. When decisions, situations, or conditions are perceived as bad, the council and the mayor get blamed for it. We should graciously accept our accomplishments, but we should learn from and correct mistakes and be transparent about them moving forward. During COVID, we as a government, the city, and residents managed through the pandemic. Mayor Rick Arise and I shared the responsibility of being mayor during COVID, and we got through it. We will strive as a council and as a city to keep the public informed of progress with our streets, bridges, hospital, infrastructure, and any situation that arises. We have challenges at the federal government and the enforcement actions taking place and the impact they have on our city, our residents, and our community. We will work together as a city council and as a city to face and confront these future challenges. I would be remiss if we did not acknowledge the work, time, and efforts of your city employees who faithfully perform the daily operations of the city, from our volunteers in various departments, our committee members and commissioners, part-time employees, full-time employees, supervisors, managers, department heads, city manager, and our city attorney on the TV screen above us. I want to take this moment to thank them for the work they do every day, making Santa Paula a safe and beautiful place to live. Please join me in a round of applause for our city employees and staff. And with that, let's take a 10 or 15-minute break and enjoy some refreshments right here. And as I said before, when we reconvene, there's just 2 items which shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. So, all right, so we'll take a quick recess. Thank you. Okay, we are back from our recess, and I'd like to announce that John Proctor made it, former Mayor John Proctor, and he said he was listening on the way in, so thank you for joining us, John. We're going to move on to item 12A, which is the appointments to the mayor's standing and ad hoc committees. Each year, the mayor appoints reassigns or appoints the council members to separate committees, and these should be in place so that the council can continue to do their duties in January. Didn't want to be presumptive, but in order to keep everything moving, myself and city manager first looked at the list, and then I made it a point to call each council member and first of all inquire as to, if they wanted to retain some of the committees that they were on, if they wanted to relinquish some of them, or, kind of pass things around between us. I think we came up with a pretty good committee assignment for this year. Mr. Singer, I think you're listed as presenting.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Two of your assignments move automatically with the rotation of the mayor, that being the Finance Committee, which will shift to the newly seated mayor and vice mayor for the coming year, and also our representation on the California Joint Powers Insurance Authority, which has traditionally been the mayor with the alternate being the vice mayor. However, the annual meeting that's held in July sometimes isn't always convenient, so we can always choose a different council member to represent us. I know, Mr. Mayor, you have a couple of suggested other changes involving some of the advisory committees or the liaisons to some of the committees. Do you want me to go through those, or do you want to do that?
Please, if you wouldn't mind.
So for Parks and Recreation, we would move, I was going to say Councilmember Juarez, so move Mayor Juarez from being an alternate to the primary liaison, and then the alternate will move to Councilwoman Ornelas. So that's a swap of the current assignment. For the Santa Paula Unified School District 2x2, Mayor Chavez is asked to step down from that. He's been on that for the last 2 years, serving with Councilwoman Ornelas, and Councilwoman Cornejo has agreed to be part of that committee. So we would move to it being Cornejo or Ornelas to serve on the 2x2. And then for the Senior Advisory Committee liaison, again, Mayor Juarez is the current liaison. He would move to being an alternate, and Councilwoman Cornejo would agree to be the primary. The Senior Advisory Committee liaison. There was some discussion of some movement on the water and sewer rate, which is an ad hoc committee, which really didn't meet this last year, despite the fact that it was supposed to, but it will be kicking off probably around January, and I believe both you and Vice Mayor Crosswhite have agreed to stay on in that assignment?
Yes.
Until that's over. So that would be the only changes, I believe, that are being made.
Yes. Does any of the council members or vice mayor have any concerns or wish to change anything that we proposed? I do want to point out, when you look at the chart where it lists all the council committees, it really looks like Councilmember Cornejo is just overwhelmed with a lot of committees, and I don't want her to seem like we're piling this on you, but she did make it a point that there are some committees that don't meet regularly. In fact, they may meet as little as once a year. So before I asked Councilmember Cornejo if she would, consider being on one of the committees, she said, of course, because some of my committees, go ahead.
I believe I said I didn't mind being sweeper to pick up those few positions that only needed 1 or 2 meetings through the year, and I would follow up and take care of it for the council.
Okay, and then all the county committees and everything, they remain the same. Some of them really rely on our representative being in line for future leadership, and it's important that if there's a commitment of, more than 1 year, that the council member retain those committees so they can move up in the leadership with a county agency. Is this now just a receive and file?
I believe you make the recommendation to, I don't think it takes a formal ratification, so I think you just move to make those appointments. Unless our city attorney advises otherwise, the mayor may ratify appointments to these committees.
Correct. Mayor, you have the authority to appoint these members, and so you can go ahead and ratify the stated replacements and assignments.
Thank you, Monica Castillo, our city attorney. If there happens to be a change in mid-year, a request, can you explain to the public how that would occur? Is it something that just, again, we just do internally, or?
It would, you may return, you would return to council and then reappoint again as another agenda item. You have an open session to do so.
Thank you. Councilmember Chavez?
Mr. Mayor, I noticed that the Ventura County Air Pollution Control Board is not listed on these committees.
Yeah, there's some confusion there because Councilwoman Cornejo serves as the city rep, but what's not listed is that you represent, you're a county-wide representative appointed by all of the mayors of the county, because it's not a city, like, there's no guarantee that it's a city position.
Okay, so it's
I
fine.
mean, but we could footnote it like we did with the SCAG thing at the bottom of the chart. If you want to give Julie a few details of what that name is, and we'll footnote it on the bottom.
Okay.
All right, thank you, and thank you, council members, for your consideration and your communications the last few days. Madam Clerk, if you would note for the agenda that I've made those standing committees.
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, we're going to move on now to item 12B, which is adoption of 2026 council meeting calendar. And I think, Mr. Singer, you want to talk about some of the logistics that occur at the end of the year and beginning of the year and our summer break?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As you know, you have an opportunity at the end of each year to establish the council calendar for the year ahead. Your municipal code requires that the council meet on the first and third Wednesday of each month unless you take action to cancel a meeting. So we like to provide the public with the opportunity to know that ahead of time. And also during holidays or during summer recess, it's nice that the council sets this calendar ahead of schedule so that people can start to make vacation plans and know that the council's generally dark. Sometimes there's a reason for special meetings. We've outlined for you some recommendations, and if I could run through that quickly, I want to just highlight a few things for your consideration. We looked at any conflicts with holidays. Luckily, there really were very few, and it's only, like, for example, Thanksgiving happens to fall on an off week, so it's not a conflict for us, or 4th of July. We also looked at the schedule for the annual league conference because a number of council members often attend that. There's no conflict this year with that, so that's all very good. The first and only meeting in the month of January, in other words, the coming month, is January 21st, because January 7th was already canceled. I just wanted to point out that we're probably going to need a special meeting on the 14th, either to do some study session work or possibly a briefer evening session. I know that Councilwoman Cornejo will not be available that day, so we'll try not to overload that, but I did want to point that out. And then fast forwarding to the summer months, you know, in past years, the council has either gone dark for 1 or 2 meetings during the summer. Numerous other local entities in the county will often also go dark in either July or August. We're recommending that you meet on July 1st, but cancel the mid-July meeting, and then meet the beginning of August, August 5th, but cancel the August 19th meeting. That's not the only solution, but that is what we suggested as a kind of preferred option, but we want to hear from council. And then you're further asked to cancel the December 2nd meeting in order to meet on the 9th of December. The reason for that is we're going into an election year. The county elections office has already really made it clear that they'll require all 30 days that they're given under statute to ratify and determine the final results of the election. And so unfortunately, December 2nd would be like the 29th day, and we wouldn't be able to seat new council people or reseat existing council people if they rerun and are elected. So we're suggesting you move that meeting 1 week. It could be even moved to like a Monday or Tuesday of the next week, and then that you keep your regular meeting of December 16th so that you can do committee assignments and calendaring and stuff. And then finally, we're recommending that, as in past years, that you also cancel the meeting of January 6th, 2027, so that we know going into the end of next year that during the holiday break, we're not needing to put a packet out. And then finally, I would also just request that the council would consider allowing City Hall and our offices to close between the Christmas and New Year's holidays. So that would mean that we would we'd be open to the public on Monday, December 21st, Tuesday, December 22nd, but that we would be closed and then reconvene right after New Year's on Monday, January 4th. That's almost identical to this year. And we have found that it has minimal effect on the community. Staff still continues to work, but it just provides a nice break. So those are really the primary requests involving a modification to December, a discussion about your summer meetings, and possibly canceling those, and then canceling the first meeting in January of 2027 and allowing city offices to close. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Singer. And it's not unusual for during the months of July and August if there becomes a need to have a special meeting.
That's
Because
correct.
It's nice to have that break. But I do understand there might be some concern, and I think Vice Mayor Crosswhite has a concern about the first week in.
Yeah, so it would be better for me if we didn't have the August 5th meeting, given that all of my other boards for that August 5th meeting have been canceled for all of my county and regional boards. It would be more beneficial to not also have them the council meeting, because I will likely not be out of town that week. So I also, while I am at here, our May 6th meeting does conflict with the Southern California Association of Governments annual meeting. I think I may be the only person who will be there unless the mayor or someone else wants to go as our voting delegate, at which point that would also be a conflict for someone else. But I have duties as second vice president that I will need to be there on the 6th, even though the opening session isn't until the 7th.
Well, then I should disclose that on the week of May, I think it's, the 2nd through the 10th, I will be out of town, so I won't be available that week either. So that might be a consideration since Vice Mayor Crosswhite and I will both be absent the 6th.
Okay, so
if we-
neither of you could make the 6th.
If we moved it to the 5th, I could at least be here for that meeting, but I won't be here on the 6th because I'll be out.
Mayor, you're saying the 2nd through the 10th?
Yes. So, there's no problem with Vice Mayor Crosswhite running that meeting. That way, at least you kind of stay on track. Okay.
Okay.
And the only other thing, item that I thought was maybe instead of the August 5th being moved around, what if we backed it up 1 week to July 29th? Then it kind of splits that summer from the 1st, the meeting, to the 29th, the meeting, and then the next meeting would be 5 weeks later in August 2nd.
That could certainly work from staff's perspective. It would give still 2 nice breaks. So are you suggesting we would meet on the 29th instead of the 5th?
Yes.
But then still cancel August 19th and July 15th?
Yes.
Vice Mayor, is that,
Wait, so we would have July 1st and 29th?
Yes.
And then nothing in August?
correct?
Correct.
September 2nd would be the next meeting.
Yeah, it'd be a 5-week span instead of a 4-week span in between.
Because there happen to be 5 Wednesdays in July.
Yeah. I mean, quite frankly, or we could just move it to the 12th as well, but I just, and you know, I'm thinking about Councilmember Cornejo, who sometimes schedules excursions during the summer months, so I'd be cognizant of that.
Actually, from my perspective, all of this works all year on all the things you're talking about, even the alternatives, except potentially the May 20th. And that's because, again, with my business, I do out-of-country trips sometimes with groups. That's the only conflict I have. So whatever else you do on all the other dates are fine with me. Before, early, later, is all good.
And to be clear, I'm not set on the, 2 meetings in July and none in August, so if you're more comfortable with instead of the 5th to 12th.
I mean, my preference would have been July 15th and August 19th, so keep the two later meetings. And that way, if someone was wanting to get away for the July 4th, I have meetings that week, but if someone was wanting to get away for the holiday, then it opens that up more.
Well, that would certainly work, too.
The only downside is the start of the fiscal year for us.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll push to make sure everything's ready in mid-June, and if it's not, it'll wait till July 15th. So is that the preference then? We'll cancel the first meeting of July and August, but keep the mid-July and mid-August meeting?
Sure. I'm okay with that, too. Is that okay with everyone? It's all good?
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was easy.
And then my only other request would be that we consider for the December 9th, instead of having it the December 9th, have it the 7th or 8th. Because all we have to do is get it out of that first week, but it would be my preference not to have it on the 9th.
I know that the 9th conflicts with the school district and their meeting is that night, and they'll be swearing in new officials because it's election year for them too. So I shouldn't always say new officials, but they'll be doing swearing in. So I think we could do that.
I would say the 8th instead of that, because of the fact that we have to worry about receiving the certification and putting an agenda out. And if for some reason we can't put that agenda out on the 4th, we would not meet the deadline for the 7th.
I'm fine with the 8th.
Yeah.
So we just move that meeting up a day to
The 8th?
Tuesday.
Sure. Okay, is everybody okay with that? All right, and this is a,
So there's 3 motions
Okay.
that we're asking
Oh, yeah.
council to consider. They're in your staff report. Well, no, there's 2 motions. First is what you just did, which is reviewing
okay,
the schedule. So the second is the closure of the facilities, and then the cancellation of the first meeting of the month. And the ones that you just discussed for the summer.
okay. Is that done by council vote or just by action?
Yeah, just a motion and yea or nay.
Okay, and would entertain a motion for items 2 and 3, authorize the closure of city facilities, Christmas, New Year's holidays, December 23rd through January 4th, and then 3, cancel the first regularly scheduled meeting on January 6th, and the items that we changed this evening, the dates.
Did that can't, I'm trying to visualize if that covered everything. Can you say that one more time?
It's, let's see, authorize the closure of city facilities between Christmas and New Year's holidays, December 23rd, 2026 through January 4th, 2027. And then item number 3, cancel the first regularly scheduled meeting on January 6th, 2027, and also including the dates that we talked about changing, either the dates in July and August as well as the December, moving it back one day. After the election.
So that's moving the December 9th to December 8th,
Yes,
moving the May 6th to May 5th,
yes,
and then canceling the first meeting in July and the first meeting in August.
yes, but then
Yes.
moving those,
Yeah. And then keeping your regular meetings on the 3rd week of July and August.
yes.
Yes.
So was that a motion, Mayor?
Sure, that's my motion.
Given that you just said it all.
All right.
I'll second.
All right. So it's been moved by me and then seconded by Vice Mayor Crosswhite. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it passes. Thank you very much. That's the last item on our action items. Let's go for future items for future agendas.
Mr. Mayor, just again pointing out that we'd really like to make sure that we can get some business done in January. So first, anticipate a full meeting on the 21st, including probably a study session, maybe a closed session, but also a special meeting, possibly on the 14th.
Thank you. And I have been asking irregularly for the last several months about some kind of update or inclusion of an EV bike policy. And the city manager told me that the city, the chief of police and the city attorney have been looking to see what other cities have already done the work and have some kind of an ordinance. And so I'd like to bring that in January as a future agenda item. But I'll bring it back to council and see how the chief and the attorneys do. All right?
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, and you'll be presenting that future agenda item through the submittal form procedure that we have in our guidelines, correct?
Yes, I'll be doing it that way.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right, thank you. Hope you feel better.
Thank you very much.
All right, is there anything else on future agenda items? Okay, well, with that, I appreciate the audience staying around. We lost most everybody, but thanks for the diehards for staying. I really appreciate your time this evening. Again, congratulations to outgoing Vice Mayor, or Mayor Chavez, incoming Vice Mayor Crosswhite, and myself. Thank you again. We're adjourned at 8:47.